What is going interwebs? C4IQ here with another Supremor podcast. Today, again, I think I'm going to basically go from scratch again with the whole scoring for the cross-Tekken characters. I've been talking with the guest I've got on the Supremor show today anyway. I'll let him explain it. He does a lot better job than I do with it. So, take away, man, if you want to introduce yourself.
Alright, I am figher. I am a cross-Tekken player, which is kind of like a thing you don't really say anymore. But, so, the way we've been talking about this a lot, and one of the things in cross-Tekken, and one of the reasons why it's good is there's a massive range of like characteristics a character can have that makes them good, basically. It's so broad, and there are so many characters that have strong points that kind of get ignored a little bit. So we've got 5 characteristics that we're going to be scoring out of 20. And these kind of vague. The reason we're doing it out of 20 is because they're a little bit vague, but we want to have everything. We want to talk about absolutely everything that a character can do and score it as accurately as possible, basically. And so I guess I'll go through these 5 things. Yeah,
and then obviously give them a brief rundown of because, like you were saying, they're kind of so broad. Kind of give a couple of examples. I think that would help them as well to like sort of understand.
Okay. So the first one we've got is footsies, which I guess is quite an obvious one, but so we've got characters like Law, who has incredible normals, which lead to really easy hit confirms. Characters like Chun-Li, and this also includes things like air-to-airs, anti-airs, things like that. Once again, it's because we're scoring out of 20, we can kind of be a little bit more vague with it. Yeah. But it's just all of their attacks that you'd be using in a footsie situation, essentially. The next one is meter gain. And once again, a character like Chun-Li or Jin, they build a lot of meter off block strings. Like Chun-Li's stand strong into lightning legs, Jin's back strong target combo, which kind of goes on forever and leaves you positive. These characters build this massive amount of meter, and it makes them incredibly powerful point characters. The other one is comeback potential. With Cross Tekken being kind of slow game, but it has a lot of damage in it. Yeah. One of the big things is being able to make a comeback at like the 20-second mark, where most people just kind of give up. So this is talking about like characters like Kazuya, who have like 50-50s that are pretty much always a guaranteed 500 damage, or Dudley, who has kind of the same thing. These sort of characters that's basically always you have a chance at all times because you can kill in 2 really quick combos, or you can use the character in Pandora to set up maybe a mix-up or a very damaging combo. And if the character actually uses Pandora effectively, so Chun-Li, again, obviously my main, when someone activates into Chun-Li, she can't do anything. She gets no damage off Pandora. Whereas she's really good at being the character that activates Pandora herself with the jump cancels close roundhouse.
So for like in your case, it would be Chun-Li Pandora into Zangief would be your optimal way to use your Pandora.
Yeah, exactly. Then with Zangief, you can set up a mix-up, or you can just go for a really big guaranteed damage combo. The next one is damage, which is a pretty obvious one. I think actually already on Shuriken there's like a damage tier list where characters like Kazuya do like 515 meterless damage, which is pretty incredible.
Is that Shuriken tier list basically off with no meter, like meterless damage?
There's one with no meter and like all varying amounts of bars.
Right, okay, that's right. Yeah, most people have that effect when they hear about Kazuya's damage. I do that all the time.
And the last one is wake up. So say a Ken with 2 bars. Fuck no. A Ken with 2 bars basically gets a guaranteed get out of jail free card, because the EXDP is obviously invulnerable, and it has 3 hits, so if you switch cancel, you get a guaranteed block string from it and a guaranteed switch, which is safe unless they have alpha counter. And those are the characteristics.
Yeah, so it's definitely a lot less than the previous plan that I had with 10. Like I said earlier to Theory Fighter, I think it's because I've done the Marvel one, and I tried to kind of just like import it over to the Cross Tekken side. But Theory brought up some good points. It's a lot different. The mechanics, how you win, the factors in it are totally different. Even though it's a team game, sort of like Marvel, in one aspect it's not a team game. It's because one character dies, your team loses. So in one respect, it's still sort of like a solo game. You just got 2 characters. And to make the aspects broader, it sort of doesn't segregate characters as much. Now thinking about it, something like normals, and in Marvel, it's like, well, this character's got loads of good grand normals, like Iron Fist, for example, but air-wise is nothing. So giving him a 5 out of 10 wouldn't really be fair, because his grand game is really good, but he would only be getting a 5 out of it because his air normals bring down his grand game score-wise. So I think it's a lot better doing it this way. Me and Theory Fighter, again, were kind of throwing around ideas about categorizing characters purely on the basis of, you might have 2 characters that score really good, for example, Poison and Relento, but on the same team, they kind of do the same role. So they're both characters that open up the opponent, but they don't do much damage. So in their own respect, they're good characters, but together, they don't really make a good team. So, depending on how it goes, I might try and categorize the characters after scoring them. I don't know. What do you think, Theory Fire?
I mean, it's kind of to see how clear a result you get from these. I think if it's like, you get a character with massive meter gain, it's kind of obvious what their role is.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends how clear it is after, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, sorry to keep going about the Marvel one, but with the Marvel one, it was basically an overall score at the end, which determined how high up that I was going to put them on a tier list. So if a character got 80 points out of 100, I would bracket them as like an A ranked character. So at the end, basically after the whole talk, it didn't really matter what they got for each aspect. They just got an overall score. I mean, with this one, because it's only 5 points, it's kind of easier to determine what position they were playing the team anyway. So you might have a point. I don't know. I mean, I was talking to Darkos, shouts to Darkos again, and he was saying it was basically trying to help me create a team with Steve. And I always said that I normally put Steve on point, and he was like, no one ever does that.
Yeah.
Most people put Steve on the back, and I was like, I get that. Whenever I see anyone play Steve, Steve's always in the back. But I was saying to him, I like the pressure, because he plays like Cody. To me, he feels like he plays like Cody, where his frame traps are kind of, they're more tricky instead of baiting. So it's like, I could do this move, which will catch you doing what I think you're going to do, whereas this other move won't. Like an Albatross spin into a hook, I'll get a wall bounce, but that'll only work if I don't think you're going to do a crouching move. If you do a crouching move, you'll blow me up. So stuff like that. So I guess it all depends on how you play the character with a few people. Some characters are pretty linear, so you only can play them in one way. But
I think it's the best characters in the game can kind of do it all.
Yeah.
Like if you look at Law, he has like good meter gain, good damage, good wake up, and a good footsies. Like the only thing he's lacking is a really, really strong comeback potential. Even there, it's still kind of there, just not as good as some characters, if you know what I mean.
Exactly, and that's like the whole reason they're doing the scoring thing, because, like you said, it's good, but when you compare it to someone like Nina or Kazuya, it's nothing you would like write home about. So hopefully the scoring system will kind of eliminate the whole character. This character's good, but compared to that character, they're not that good. So that's the whole point of it. And again, I think it will help people that are trying to get into the game. I've had a couple of people message me saying that they're getting into Cross Tekken, and they don't know where to go to get better. It's basically they're kind of at the beginner stage or the casual stage, and they're going online. Their stuff's working, but they don't feel like they're getting any better. And it's because I personally said to them, it's kind of like a universal thing against all games. It's once you go online, once you've learned something in trainer mode and you go online and it works, you don't feel like you need to learn anything else because what you're doing is working. And I was explaining to one guy who messaged me, he basically started making like a kind of, what would you call it? Like an excellent adventure sort of thing where he's just playing online, commentating. And he was asking advice. What was it? I'm trying to remember his channel. I think it was called Eco Gaming. Right. So yeah, basically I said to him, what you're doing is good. The commentator is good. It's funny. He's got all the layout really nice. He's got thumbnails and all that sort of stuff. But I was saying it really depends on who you're aiming your videos to be at. Because if you're aiming at casual gamers, yeah, it'll be fine. But if you're aiming for anyone who's trying to learn the game or that is at a pro or hardcore level, whatever you want to call it, they're not gonna get much from you because you're not really explaining your thought process on what you're doing. So I think something like this will help him because then he will see what he may or may not should be doing with that character.
Yeah, I think that it's like one of the pitfalls of online is you get into a routine and you're very rarely pushed to get yourself out of that. You play against one guy once who's okay and then he beats you and you kind of never get the chance to play against him again. And it's you never really like go, oh well, after a sweep he's always backdashing, like I could punish that with a super or I could try and option select it or something like that. It's one of the pitfalls of online and people that are kind of getting used to a game.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So yeah, I think this is definitely going to be the finalized idea of how I'm going to do the scoring system. If Theory Fighter's got any time, I'll end this podcast and hopefully, if you've got time, yeah, like I said, we could probably go over Chun-Li quickly. Obviously, because you play Chun-Li. Mm-hmm. It'll be a good way to kick off. So everyone else knows kind of how we're going to do it, what aspects to consider when we talk about another character afterwards. If anyone wants to jump on for the next one, find out when the next one is. You can get me on Skype. My Skype's MOPC4IQ. My Facebook is Mash on Pad. Find me on there. That's the same for my YouTube as well. If you want to leave a comment in the this podcast, I'll find you, or you can find me on Skype. Tell me what character you want to jump on the podcast for, and I'll try and sort something out for you. Is there any shout outs you want to do, Fury Fire? If you want to plug yourself for your YouTube channel and stuff?
Yeah, I guess I'm on YouTube as Fury Fighter, and go to the Heart Gaming. It's awesome, and you should stop playing online.
It was harsh, but it's very true. It's very true. I couldn't say it better myself. Stop online. If you can. I know some people,
obviously.
Some people don't have that luxury of going to offline, but if you like the game enough, you'll find somewhere.
Yeah, man. Just do what I do, and just you got to jump over those barriers, man. Jump over those barriers on the tube station. Get yourself to Heart Gaming.
I thought you meant like mental barriers.
Oh no.
So you meant illegal barriers, things you're not actually meant to do. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I won't condone that, but if that's the only way you can do it, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it because playing offline is so different.
Yeah, man.
So different, and you learn things that you won't learn online. I think overall, playing offline, it's more socializing. So you don't feel like, oh, I'm going to have to beat this guy, because that's what you do. When you're online, you kind of go to ranked and it's like, I want to get points, so I'm going to beat this guy. You go offline and you learn, you rematch. People say like, you're getting up by this because, and then you can counteract that sort of thing. And it's a lot better. It's a lot better. There's too many factors.
It's too many. You could spend the whole day talking about it, man.
Yeah, honestly, definitely could do that. But yeah, I'll wrap it up. Thanks everyone for listening once again. And I'll catch you all later.